move to the next slide. Before moving to the next slide, the system testing, I would like you to show the performance testing. Yearly performance testing is one of the important stuff that we need to look at it, because many times people do not do performance testing at all. That makes people not aware of the performance test, and performance things come at a very late stage of the project and it gives surprises. So what we would like to do is, we would like you to show a simple performance test. What we have done is, we have a product, a CRM. I just get in. You have a home page, you have a login into the CRM. Okay. Once you get into this, you get a lot of opportunities. It's like a Salesforce CRM or Sugar CRM. Contacts meaning people, accounts meaning companies, opportunities are working opportunities or project opportunities. You're talking about almost like 2,754 records currently into this. But the CRM may be used by hundreds of people or thousands of people if it is a SaaS platform, right? So in the performance testing, most of the time people do it very, very late in the cycle and it kills. In 2012, it is internet world. If speed is compromised, we are dead. So speed is the key. Functionality is also key, but speed is the winning factor to make sure everything, it attracts more customers. Now, imagine if hundreds of people, or say 30 people, are adding opportunities. What will happen? So what we have done is, we have created a script. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to run 20 users for 5 minutes. Okay. So when I'm running 20 users for 5 minutes, it's like it's hitting the system. And right now, when I am adding one user, it's like right now there are 2,754 records. Let me start the tool. Okay. I'm going to run. Now you could see 20 users are hitting the system. Now it is going to run for 5 minutes. For the next 5 minutes, it will keep on hitting the system, and you may be seeing some more records getting added into this pipeline, right? It'll add in chunks, because right now people may be logging in, then they have to come to the screen, then they have to add a new opportunity by going to the detailed ad, then they will submit the data. Then you could see right now the last ID is 345, SS OPP or ID 345 is there. Now after some time, since many users are hitting the system, now look at this. It has moved from 2,754 to 86. Manually adding a chunk of records is not going to help. So what we are doing is, we are doing a performance testing, but I am not running hundreds of users or thousands of users. All I am trying to do is try to run 25 to 50 users. In your functionality testing, you may be doing something called the sanity testing, right? Basic functionality should satisfy. Now it has gone up to 2,819. Now you could see more and more opportunity IDs are getting added. This is done using the tool. There is a question, what is this tool? This is our custom script. Softsmith is doing a lot of performance testing using CompuWare tools, using Gomez tools, and custom scripts. So many customers want custom scripts for their product. So we write custom HTTP request scripts and then fire the users. Now you can see 20 users and the system is stable. What you need to do is, if you are testing a system, whenever you are having time after the functionality test, do the performance testing also, right? But you may not have a bigger hardware. You may not get production class hardware, but still, if you are able to hit with 25 to 50 users, you at least ensure some of the basic functional items, and the performance items are nullified. So you will at least know what is the kind of response time that you are doing, right? And right now it is more than 2.5 minutes. So if you are testing for say 20 minutes or 30 minutes, it also shows whether the system is stable. If the system is not stable, if you are having too many triggers, if you are having too much of exceptions happening, you will have users failing. Instead, you run some 20 to 50 users for every kind of a business scenario. But ultimately in production, you may have to run for hundreds or even thousands of users. But at a very basic level, make sure the system even works for every single scenario for about 25 to 50 users and run it for at least 10 to 15 minutes. Ensure continuous hits make the system stable, whether the system is stable or not. Now, let me again refresh the screen. When I refresh, you could see now 2,974. We started from 345, now it has gone to 568. Almost like 200 and some odd records got inserted in a matter of 3 minutes, right? So the system is still working fine. I don't see an issue at all. If I go and then try to edit this record, I don't see a big trouble. It is loading pretty fast for me. So this itself, this is what we are doing. Yearly performance tests. Don't wait very late in the cycle, and most of the time systems do not even go through performance tests. They put into production. First few months they get into the problems. Only when they get into the problems they start doing the performance tests. I would like to know from you, how many of you have gone through this exercise of first bill goes to production without performance tests. Then after 3 months, customer is saying, hey, I want performance tests. Can you please raise hands if you have encountered such a situation? Wow, yes, I could see at least 40 hands raising. Yes, this is almost like headache, or I would say the cavity in your teeth. If the cavity is small, you don't go. You don't go to the dentist at all. Only when it pains, you go to the dentist. Same way, performance test, you'll take the back seat. The reason is we don't do that, right, at the yearly cycle, because most of the times they are all small issue, right? There is a question, how performance testing helps testing productivity. Yes, that's a good question, because at the end of the day, we are all human beings. Let me ask you an honest question. How many of you want to work in performance testing? Can you please raise your hands? Super. I could see almost 90% of the people are raising the hands. Still the hands are going up and up. Remember Swami Vivekananda's words. You have the potential, you can achieve all, but only thing is you need to go run, chase the chances. The moment you have the passion, you are exposed to that, it increases. It doesn't increase your 24-hour clock. What it does is it increases your energy levels. Rather than not doing it is preventing your mind block, it helps you that yes, I'm doing it, I'm adding value to the product. Plus, when you do the performance testing, I'm going to do one more thing. There is something called performance engineering. That's what I'm going to do now. There is something called performance engineering. Okay, the test is now finished, 20 users completed, 5 minutes are done. So now if I say show the report, okay, so there is a data store is getting populated, so it takes some time. Now what happens is I want to see when the system is running, okay, what is its internal, okay. This is called performance engineering. Every tester should eventually go to the level of performance engineers, okay. This is what I want to show to you now. Simple functionality alone is fine, but at some point of time, people need to elevate to the level of understanding architecture, understanding each components of the system. By showing the screen, you may not know what is at the back end, right? You may not even know how many Java classes are there, how many database calls are being made. You may not even know. But do you want to know the internals of the applications? Will it give a better knowledge to you? If you feel yes, please raise the hands. Absolutely. That's good, because knowing the internals always helps. It broadens your knowledge, and you will be just as close to the developer as the developer is. Only thing is, developer will code, but you may understand what he codes, and you can pinpoint this is exactly the problem. But if you are only a functional tester, you may not be in a position to do that. To do that, you need to come to the level of performance engineering. Let me show it to you here. What I'm going to do is, this is what is when the test was going on. Look here. It is showing there's a JVM. From this, there's a CRM test, and there is a MySQL. There is a two kind of a database CRM test, and it is hitting the databases. And it says there's a dashboard, okay, and it is taking, it shows business transactions. And it says, hey, CRM has done so many web server calls, and CRM testers opportunities 957 times it has been called, and the time for that is almost 10 milliseconds. But by looking at this is internal. When you go to the load testing tool, and then if you try to run any report, it may give only the page-wise response time. But what I want to do is, I want to know the bottleneck. Okay, now I could say, hey, CRM test codes, it is taking relatively, if I look at most of the things, everything else is taking about 250 milliseconds or so, but this guy, this servlet CRM test / codes is taking 1070 milliseconds. So what can I do? I'm just trying to drill down. Okay, when you say drill down, it is showing here there are two snapshots, and it is taking, these are all the snapshots which are taking more time. Okay, so what should I do? Suppose I want to view this snapshot. This is what is called performance engineering. It's almost like angiogram or X-ray. You are getting into the system. If you are familiar with profilers, this is almost like development class J profiler, right? Now let me get into this one. I'm going to the snapshot. Look at this. Which is taking more time? It is simply saying, hey, this opportunities grid details.jsp, that JSP is the culprit. All the other things are taking only this much time, but that guy is taking 343 milliseconds. So if you want to fine tune, see what, go to the code of this JSP, see what he does. When I use this tool, I am not doing anything extra. All I did is I did the functional testing, or I do the performance testing parallelly. And look at this. The tool also provides something called the hotspots. This servlet, opportunities details.jsp, this is having 343 milliseconds. Anything greater than 10 milliseconds, I'm asking them to give this, configure the tool. This tool is called the app dynamics. Okay, this is called the app dynamics. This is a production class profiler. Most importantly, look at here. And hey, there is a query. Select this part, and that is taking 200 milliseconds. Just this one query takes 200 milliseconds. When the time says 0, it doesn't mean just absolute 0. It may be microseconds. That's why he would have given 0 milliseconds. If I want to speed up this process, right, all I can do is, if I can optimize this query to take only 20 milliseconds instead of 200 milliseconds, right, I can improve the performance. Now, I don't even know what was coded. I have absolutely no idea what was coded. But the tool simply said, hey, there is one query, that is this one, which is slow. there is another thing, this opportunities details grid.jsp. In the whole scenario that you tested, logging in, going to the opportunities grid, adding an opportunity, viewing the opportunity, then coming out. Add, view, everything is fine, but the grid is having a problem, and that one SQL query is having the problem. And it is taking, at this point of time, it was taking 468 milliseconds. At this point of time, at 320 it took some time, at 315 it took some time. You can even compare at what all the levels it is taking and how many times it is getting called, right? It was called 324 times and calls per minute 40 times. These are all the internal details about the application. How does it improve the productivity? Because most of the people think, okay, this is a tool called App Dynamics. Okay, fantastic tools. Please remember, we are in 2012. If you don't use proper tools, right, obviously we are missing something. We are back in time. We are late. But if you have tools, without having anything, you have the capacity to question everybody. You can simply say, right, hey, this is the problem. This SQL query, this JSP are the problem. What I'm talking about when I say productivity, you need to do more work and a variety of work, improve your value addition to the company with the same time frame. That's what is my definition of productivity. It's not like executing more tests is also productivity. Execution of more types of tests like compatibility test, performance engineering, that is also productivity, right? Someone is asking, is it not possible to use execution plan for query optimization? Yes, but to do the explain plan, first of all, you need to know what is the query that is taking time. But how do you know which query is taking time? The moment you use this tool, you have that information ready-made with you, right? Simple. If you go to the snapshots, it has taken snapshots throughout this, of which what I'm interested is, okay, 612 milliseconds it is taking time. I want to know what it is. So you can just go there, double click. Oh, the same thing, same guy, the opportunities grid. That's again a problem. Again, the same SQL query is always getting a problem, right? This is a big problem. So if you go to this one and it is giving a very pinpointed information, it is not giving at the page level, it is at the JSP level. At the same time, it is giving at the query level. And you can simply say this is the problem in your application. Today, performance as well as functionality both are important for the product. If you are familiar with standard quality principles, okay, there is something called IQ. IQ means install quality. You download Skype, install. Installation is clean. You download WinZip, install. You download Tomcat, install. So installation itself for all products, installation quality is extremely important. If installation is bad, product is not going to click. Number two, OQ, operational quality. This is the functionality. It should work for the positive test cases and negative test cases. Third is the PQ, performance quality. For products, if any one is weak, the product is dead, guaranteed. It doesn't install but works great, problem. It works great but performance is a problem. So for products, IQ, OQ, PQ, all three are important. If any one is missed, obviously the product is not going to click. So a tester needs to elevate from simply a functional tester to a performance tester to the performance engineer. That way you know the complete internals. My mentor always says this example. If you know your anatomy very well, right, and how the body works? Will you take care of your body better than before or not knowing the internals? Answer, if you say yes, please raise the hands. If you know the internals of the body, how each part works, will you take care of the body better? Absolutely, yes. I'm very happy that people are raising the hands. More people are raising the hands. If you do not know the internals, if you eat something, where is it going to affect? You may not even know, right? That is the biggest problem. If you know that anatomy, you do better. Same way, if you know the anatomy of your own product being tested, you will do a wonderful job. So you can cover IQ, OQ and PQ. That's what I mean by that. So the same tester can elevate from simply a domain-based functionality tester or a screen-based functional tester to internal tester of the product. But you need to get into the tools. If you do not have the tools, then obviously the productivity may not be that high. Okay, this is one piece of information. Okay, this is I'm coming back to the PowerPoint slides. Okay, let me just yearly performance test. As I said, at least try to test for 25 to 50 users. Do the tests. At the same time, yearly performance engineering. This is called deep dive analysis. You get into the system rather than saying, no, I am a black box tester. Don't say I am a black box tester. I am a black box tester as well as white box tester. So claim that way. So you are doing two types of testing, black box and white box. You are doing two types of testing, functional and performance. How does it improve productivity? Usually, if you are a functional tester, if you do not know performance testing, during the product undergoing the performance testing, what you are going to do? Your loading factor is less. But you know performance testing also, I can utilize you better. In project A, you may be a functional tester. In project B, you may be a functional performance tester. So you can be used across projects in a better way. That's a big improvement for the company. The most important thing is, as I talked about, it will talk about the CPU and memory for every SQL call and every method level call, so that you get great insight about the product internals. This is extremely important. Now, last but not the least, the database testing checklist. Okay, I go to the system. This is a product. I check this dashboard. The moment I use this, where will I test it? Where will I go and then check whether the data is created or not? Or if I'm using this CRM, where will I go? I'm just moving over here. In which table this is present? One way I can check through the UI. The other way I can check through the database. But do you know how to write the query which table? You can. That's why what we are suggesting is better you have some queries ready.